Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 2022 Manager with the Aston Martin to glory save, and we've got some very important news on this one. And Lance Stroll is a free agent. That last race was he was so far behind Sebastian Vettel. I don't think you completely blame the strategy. We finished 17th and 18th in Jeddah, but Lance Stroll was so far away, he's gone. So the big question is, who's replaced him? Because you'll also notice he's not our reserve driver. So let's go and have a look. And I am delighted to announce that Nico Hulkenberg has stepped up into Car 2 from our reserve driver. We've now got a German partnership in Car 1 and Car 2. Sebastian Vettel is going to be partnered by Nico Hulkenberg. Now, Nico Hulkenberg he accepted a new contract. He wanted to talk to us, and we've given him a new contract. We ended up paying him £5 million a year, not $5 million, sorry, a year. And he accepted the bonus threshold, which is good. His morale is very high, which is awesome. He basically is just going to see out the season. He's going to get paid to do the races, see out the season. And he's going to bring a bit of stability, a bit more competition for Sebastian Vettel, and hopefully we can make that work. So he's been promoted from reserve driver to second driver. Let's go and have a look at our new reserve driver. So I've brought in Frederik Vesti on a relatively long-term contract. He's got, it says only a year. It's actually a 2-year deal he's got. So that should say like 1 year and 6 months, or whatever it is, 1 year and 8 months. But yeah, he's in. We're going to see how he progresses. He's going to drive every single P1 session from now until the end of the season, and we're going to see how far we can improve his skills. And what really sort of made me interested in bringing in Vesti is the fact that he's really young at 20 years old. He's Danish, and I think Scandinavians make great F1 drivers. 71 rated overall at 20 years old, and he has some decent ability already. I mean, his consistency is probably his standout area of where he can go to. I like his cornering pace. I like his reactions. We can work on his braking. I think his overtaking and his defending are both good as well. So adaptability, basically as soon as it starts raining, we're going to have to bring him in straight away. But, you know, he's not going to be racing for us this year unless something happens to one of our other drivers. He's just going to be doing F1 consistently. He does have very high aggression, so unlike Nico Hulkenberg, Vesti is going to be sort of a risk taker in terms of when he's in the car. So it'll be very interesting to see how this unfolds. In other news, the new chassis is now installed on both cars. It was Sebastian Vettel that had it only in the last race, so he and Nico Hulkenberg are both going to have it for this next race, which is pretty good. The drivers will have to understand it and get used to it, and it will affect their bonus performance and all stuff like that. But very, very happy with this, getting a new chassis in the car. It should help us go a little bit faster. So within our current projects at the moment, we are designing a new underfloor, we are also designing a new rear wing, and we're manufacturing 4 of our new front wing design that we've just created. And the next one should be, potentially, if we can put it on the car after the first practice session of the Australian Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel may be getting a big boost from the new front wing. So I'm hoping we can make this work. It should be good. But for now, let's crack in to the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne for a weekend of fierce competition. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. Good attention to medium speed downforce will likely make beating this beast of a track just a little bit easier. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Let the weekend begin!
So here we are then at Australia. Again, I'm going to do practice behind closed doors, let's say. We'll be back for qualifying. We haven't promised anything to the sponsors, really. They want us to get the fastest lap. That's probably not going to happen. But if we've got nothing to play for and there's a couple of laps to go and we're not in a points winning position or anywhere near it, we might just whack on the soft tyres if the weather's good and go for the fastest lap, all fully push. We'll see how we do there. The finish position streak is over. We have to finish 15th, and qualifying we get a bit of a bonus if we get both drivers into 15th or above, which I can't really see happening at all, to be honest. It looks like there may be rain, well, heavy rain on race day, which is going to make it very interesting indeed. So yeah, let's head in to practice 1, and I'll see you for qualifying. So here we are then with the P3 result. Charles Leclerc leads it. Max Verstappen, a very, very all over the place practice like sessions. This one we've got 3 grid penalties. Verstappen caused the crash. He's got a grid penalty. Nico Hulkenberg, his first time in the car, he caused the crash and he's got a grid penalty. Schumacher caused the crash and Gasly caused the crash as well. So lots of grid penalties happening after qualifying. Seb never got to set a time on the soft. We were just about getting him track acclimatized. We were getting his speed up, getting the optimal setting, which was good. With Nico, we actually got the optimal setting a little bit quicker and therefore got a chance to put in a quick lap, which was... yeah, pretty good actually. He did a 1:21.8, which isn't too bad. But obviously, a lot of teams probably sandbagging at this point. But all in all, pretty happy with how it's going. So Sebastian Vettel 100% track acclimatization. Obviously, Nico got a 64 because he didn't do practice 1. That went to our reserve driver. Both of them have 96% car knowledge, 97% setup confidence with Seb, 91 with Nico. So Seb gets all 15 bonus points, which is absolutely awesome. And Nico gets 13 out of 15. Gives him control of 91, cornering of 86, which I'm quite excited to see, to be honest. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage. Now, sunny qualifying, rainy race. I have no idea what to do in a rainy race, but let's jump into qualifying. We'll see you when we're there. So as is pretty standard, we're going to send our drivers out nice and early on this first stint just to see what we can do, because we didn't do a qualifying run in practice sessions. As I said, Nico managed to do 1, but he did it without ERS, and Seb didn't manage to do any of them, to be honest. So let's fast forward this until we can get to, well, let's have a look at, let's ride on board with Nico when he's going to start his, here he is. He's going to start his fast lap now. So let's ride on board with him and see how he gets on. We'll keep an eye on his times. We may hit a bit of traffic as well as we come round towards the finish, but we should be able to get 2 pretty good quick laps in here around Australia. It's a good course, it's a good track. It's a very nice track to drive. They've reconfigured it slightly. This is quite a slow right-hander that you take there, but so far Nico, it looks like he's mastering the track. Know when to get the foot down. Hopefully that control means he has a lot of control over the car with no sort of spin-ups of the back wheels, and can control his corners. I mean, he's setting a purple sector. Of course he is. He's the only car. He's the first car out. It looks like Seb has now taken that purple sector away. We do have one other car on track with us who has now taken that purple sector off both of us. So it doesn't look like we're going to be setting the fastest lap from this first section. But Sebastian Vettel and Nico Hulkenberg both we're going pretty well at the moment. Seb is going to be a faster lap time just because he keeps taking that purple sector away, and then he does keep losing it to the driver behind, which is light blue, which I want to say might be the Alpine, I think it would be. But Nico Hulkenberg coming around the tight left-hander into the right-hander to come to the start, finish straight. And what can we do here? So he crashed on turn 3, just went ploughing into the back of a Haas, Nico Hulkenberg, what he did in practice. But it's not a bad time, 1:21.1. Not too bad. Seb is going to come over the line in a 1:20.8. Okay, that's not too bad at all there. So right, let's forward on and we'll be back for our second run. I'm just thinking we might try and do 3 runs actually. I might get these guys out now. Let's put Vettel out now. We've gone for fresh softs. I'm just going to see if we can time this reasonably well. Okay, some of these drivers are going out for another run. Hulkenberg's going to hold them up here. Sainz has had a little spin. Right, Vettel's going to start his flying lap. So let's get on board with Seb. Right, we're looking for green and purple sectors here as the track's rubbering up a little bit. What can Seb do in this Q1 section? The Q1 sector 1, that's what we're looking for. As you can see at the moment, he's up in 5th, so some people struggling to put decent times in at the moment. Seb does set a green sector, so he's gone faster for this lap. What can Nico do? Is Nico going to set a green first sector as well for him? Hopefully he does. Vettel looks like it's on a very good lap here, although Albon has now jumped up to 6th, so you can tell that the timings are a little bit skewed at the moment. I think we're going to have enough time to get in after this lap and then get out for another lap if we've timed this correctly. Oh, Vettel's put in a yellow sector. Hulkenberg a yellow sector. Not even hit on personal best. Oh, Vettel's going to hit some traffic, which is really going to hurt his lap time. I thought we may just miss it. I don't even know who that is in front of us. It's the AlphaTauri. It says it right on the back of the wing there, Dave. You're an idiot. But yeah, that's going to really hurt Vettel's time. So we could have called him in there, because that AlphaTauri is now going to go on its fast lap. It's actually let us pass at a half decent place, but is it going to be an improvement for Vettel? No, it's not an improvement for Vettel. So Hulkenberg is also hitting a bit of traffic, so not ideal. I think because he's hit traffic, we can call him in off that and just sort of abort that lap from Nico, which is a little bit annoying. But it does get us in time to then go and set another fastest lap. So 1:19, we're doing it in about 1:20. I think going out around the 2-minute mark would make sense again before the end of Q1. Can we make something magical happen here? Who knows? Okay, all the other cars are going out. We're going out now as well with 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go. I'm hoping I haven't left this too late. As our cars do come out, we may have fudged this again because it's just gone to the 2-minute mark. So let's see if we can get round in time. I'm not sure. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. Let's look at Vettel. So Vettel's going to cross the... Actually, that could be the perfectly timed thing. We are going to be over the line and starting our lap now, as is Hulkenberg as well. So we've timed this pretty much perfectly. We're going to be the last cars coming in Q1. Basically, we just need... Don't mess up. Don't F this up. And we might have a chance. I mean, you're going to expect Perez to improve, Ricciardo, Norris. Sainz is currently bottom. He must have hit loads of traffic on his first go. But we've had three attempts in this qualifying. If I can just master the timings that little bit better, I feel like there's some things we can do in qualifying later down the line. So Bottas jumps up, Schumacher's up there. I mean, Leclerc is currently the one in danger. It's very, very tense, very, very close. At the moment, we're in 11th and 14th, but I imagine that's going to change. Latifi's done the time, doesn't get out. Perez jumps top, so he definitely avoided all of that traffic. And I'm hoping now we shouldn't hit any traffic because everyone's just finishing their laps. So can we make something happen? Hulkenberg now dropping into 16th. He's in the danger zone. He's setting a personal best lap here. Sebastian Vettel hitting a yellow sector in the middle. As we're going to come round... It's going to be pretty close, this. I feel like it's going to be touch and go. As Vettel crosses the line, it's not enough for him to get out. Can Hulkenberg get out? Hulkenberg, no he can't. It's going to be 17th and 19th with the Albon, or Williams' Albon splitting us. Not the best. We don't get out of Q1 again. 17th and 19th. Nico not having the best of laps there. Oh well, we take it to the race and we see what we can do. So yeah, there wasn't mention of rain. It doesn't really look that way if you're looking out onto the track where we had that little brief intro there. Right. What are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? So rain is coming at the end, it says, towards the end. So if we can sort of eke out a tyre for as long... there's an 85% chance there. This is where we probably want to try and eke out to. Can we go on the... How far can the hards go? They can just hit that rain. That is epic. If we can do that and get straight onto the inters, that is what I'm more than happy to do. So we're going to go for that with Seb, and I think we're going to do exactly the same. For the first time ever, we're going to go for exactly the same. We're just going to bring Nico in one lap early and potentially put him on the intermediate slightly early. But that is what we're going to do. We're going to match it up and go like that. I think... You know, we're going to go straight off the bat. We're going to push. We need to get up as far as we can, so we're just going to deploy the ERS for both drivers. Now, there were grid penalties that we haven't looked into yet, so Hulkenberg is starting at the back because of his grid penalty, and Sebastian Vettel is actually starting up in 16th, so not too bad. Vettel's jumped one spot. Hulkenberg's gone down one. Really not bad at all.
Quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. And there's Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. There's the second Aston Martin. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. The race start is mere seconds away.
Right, so we're about to get underway. 5 lights. They're off. Lights are out. We are off. And Sebastian Vettel and the second Aston Martin driver are looking to make some inroads here. Obviously, they don't have the rights to Nico Hulkenberg or something. I'm not too sure. But we're going to watch on with Sebastian Vettel as he's battling early on. And, well, he's dropped down to 17th. Oh, Nico's got a position. Go on, Nico. He's overtaken Schumacher. Nico, this is his chance to impress. We're going to let them battle for this early stage. I'm not having favourites now. I like both Nico and Sebastian. So Nico's going to have the inside here. And Nico, I think, could be potentially pushing up into some good positions here. If we can both get past Latifi, that would be absolutely amazing on this first lap. We need to make a move pretty early on, to be honest.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
So it's Vettel ahead of Hulkenberg, Schumacher behind both of us, and it looks like Vettel's trying to up Latifi, but can't quite make it work. Lots of drama on track in the early stages. Come on, Seb, let's get a Seb eye view of trying to get past Latifi. I mean, this is the problem being stuck behind Latifi. We're already a second off Magnussen because Latifi's just so rubbish. I know he's go-Tifi, but he is really, really rubbish. Because really, we need to be catching that other Williams of Albon and pushing on from there. So you can see Latifi not really staying online as he really should be as a Formula 1 driver. But that's going to be the first lap in the bag. Hopefully down this straight we can make something work, as we're going to try and move around, and Vettel's trying to find the space and he's going round the left of Latifi. Can he do it, and can he pull Hulkenberg along with him? I'm just wondering where's the... there is Hulkenberg trying to come through as well. Vettel gets past Latifi, and if we just look backwards, I'm hoping that Hulkenberg will make it through as well. Right, Vettel's got to try and close that gap. So Hulkenberg's also going round Latifi, and both Aston Martins get the move done on the second lap, which is absolutely brilliant. We're going to keep pushing for a little bit. We're just going to take these down to overtake to try and close the gap rather than see what's going on. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. What's going to be erasing there? And as I said, it's Latifi span, so nothing to worry about there. That's going to drop him down to last place in the race. But yeah, there was lots of incidents in practice, so I'd be very surprised if we get through this whole race without seeing some sort of incident on track with a crash or lots of spins and lockups and things like that. It'll be very, very interesting. But Seb trying to put the pressure on. Albon is now holding up Magnussen, which has pulled us back in. But Albon again now has a 2-second gap already to Ocon. So I feel like we need to keep pushing the fuel, pushing the tyres until we get past Alexander Albon. Because you can see there Magnussen's making a bit of a meal of it to get past. He does do it on the slow left-hander. But now I'm hoping that we can push through past Albon here. And then on this lap we're going to have the DRS zones available. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to push. Go on, make that move. You've done this once on an Albon. You did it on Latifi, Vettel. Get round on the outside here. No, he's not in position to make this one count. But we're going to have to start harvesting soon as well. So the quicker we can get past this Albon, the quicker we can start harvesting some of our ERS. We are getting the notice to say that we're struggling a little bit. We're going to put them both on neutral just so that it's not as hard pushed on ERS. And we do need to keep an eye on the tyres as well. In 1 minute there's a 5% chance of rain, so that's not going to happen. But we need to keep an eye on that. It's been a pretty entertaining start to the Australian Grand Prix. Now, come on, Seb. Push past. Get past him. I know that we're going to have a chance soon. Yeah, we haven't got the DRS open just yet. But it looks like if we can dive down the inside here, can you... Oh, he didn't dive. He didn't go for it. But we can't let Magnussen pull away. Now, here is the DRS, but Albon's got it on Magnussen as well. So we need to make sure we keep up. We are pulling along Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg will be pulling away from Schumacher, who doesn't have DRS. Albon took that corner really slow and held up Sebastian Vettel, which is really, really irritating. So we just need to watch this. I'm hoping that on this straight, I know Albon's going to have DRS as well. But I'm hoping we can get past. If we can get past him inside the first 5 laps, let's just deplete all of our battery and just say overtake. And I'm pretty sure that's going to now completely drain. Go on, now dive down the left. We're all just keeping in the slipstream. Nobody having that sort of brave moment to just make it work. We've lost our ERS with Hulkenberg, but Seb is trying to find it up, and what's making it difficult is Albon's also trying to get round Magnussen. I think we're going to have to come back to this one in a minute because we're going to have to harvest some ERS just for a few laps here and then go back on the attack against the Williams. So Sebastian Vettel, still on harvest, is still going for a move here, and he's got the inside track past Albon, and he's right on the gearbox of Magnussen as well. Can he make it work? Right, we're still... It's because we're pushing on here as well. So we're going to drop down to aggressive. We'll keep the pressure. We'll go balanced there. We're going to go balanced on there as well. Can Hulkenberg get past Albon? That's what we need to do. We're still harvesting as well, so we're keeping good pace on the DRS sort of things behind Magnussen, who doesn't have DRS on Sonoda. So 5 laps in, we do get that place over both the Williams, which is absolutely crucial. Well, Vettel has. Hulkenberg still trying, as you can see. I mean, Albon's not letting us go easily. He may try and get round us here. I think we haven't quite harvested that much yet. We need to keep it on. And we're going to go to neutral. Yeah, we're going to go to neutral. We'll keep Hulkenberg on harvest a little bit because he is still getting the DRS off Albon to pull him along. But again, I'd like to make this move on the Haas if we can, on Magnussen. So, I mean, early on, let's have a quick look at strategies. Only a few on hards. Most people go in medium, so we should be lasting longer than them. And I said, hopefully we last until that rain comes. And we're still trying to pressure Magnussen here onto what we can do. We were 0.01 seconds away then from overtaking Magnussen. And it's yeah, it's been an entertaining start. If we can get Seb up into 15th and 14th and close that gap on Sonoda, who's 3 seconds ahead, it's going to be a tough ask, but we need to try and do something. I think in a minute we're going to go neutral. We still got Hulkenberg harvesting. I think we're going to have to push. Let's push Hulkenberg and say you can go for it and try and pass Albon, because we need to get you past that Williams so that you don't get held up. And we're going to drive on board with Hulkenberg for a little bit here and see if we can make this work, because Albon's getting pulled along by us. We're getting by Vettel. We're getting, I say we, Vettel. If I say we, I mean Vettel. Vettel's getting pulled along by Magnussen. There is a yellow flag in Sector 3, but nothing has come of that of note to say there's been a crash or anything, although someone's going very, very slow. It was Bottas, and we're going to use this to our advantage. Let's try and now take Bottas. He really messed up there. We're going to push and push and push and see if we can get both of these drivers in one go. We're back on board with Sebastian Vettel. He's had a great exit out of that corner. It's Magnussen trying to make the move on Bottas as well. Can we get a double pass on Bottas? We've completely lost all the DRS for both drivers here, and we're still going to try and push Bottas. Now, the sensible thing to do, again, would be drop to harvest, balance all of this up, try and just get Bottas' DRS to pull us along. As Hulkenberg has got past Albon, which is massive. That is something we need to do. Sorry that we missed it, old Nico. Sorry that we missed it. But if we can stay within this DRS of Bottas to pull us along, we can just keep an eye on our tyres and see what's going on. It's been about 7 straight laps of my commentary, so I'm going to shut up for a bit. And in an interesting turn of events, Nico Hulkenberg has just got past Sebastian Vettel. I don't mind it. I'm not completely against it. I think we're going to put everyone back into neutral. We've lost that second of DRS zone on Bottas, who's also got way past Magnussen. So we need to get back into Magnussen's range. Yeah, quite a lot happened in that half a lap that I decided not to do any commentary. So hopefully it's not as drastic as we think, because we've got Albon right on our tail again. So I'm just checking on tyre wear. Lap 11, Hulkenberg's had a bit of a nightmare, dropped down to 19th. He got caught by Albon and Schumacher in the same move. But yeah, our 78 and 77% is quite a lot worse than the other hard drivers that we've got here. And we're sort of more matching the mediums, which is not the plan. So we're going to have to be a little bit more careful in terms of managing this race, and I think we're going to have to do a bit of a manual ERS management. Right, so we've dropped some places, but I don't mind that. We're playing the long game. There's 40% chance of rain in about 4 minutes, and it does look like it's getting a bit cloudy. There hasn't been any raindrops yet. The track is still dry at 0.0 millimeters. Verstappen has come in, which is probably a signal that the medium guys are going to come in for pitting soon, and they're not they're gonna then have to pit again when the rain comes. So I feel like this could be a good little situation here. I'm just wondering, is there an update on rain? So it's moved forward a little bit for Seb. Right, let's we're going to say you do 30 laps. I know that means the medium's going to go a long way. Technically, we're actually going to go to intermediate. So we'll update that. And then for Seb's one, I found the button. I couldn't find it in the last episode. I found the button. And then for Seb, we're going to go 31 and go to intermediates. And that should make it until the end. So that is the new strategies there for the guys. And again, we're just being pulled along in this DRS. I know we're right at the back, but I feel like we can save a bit of fuel doing this, getting pulled along, and then have that fuel to push right at the end. So hopefully it works out. So 21 laps, done. Gasly, some other people have started to pit, and they've gone on to the hards, which is really interesting because maybe they know something about the weather I don't. Maybe the AI have better like weather telemetry, but we're still banking on the fact that this rain is going to come at some point. We've got Hulkenberg and Vettel both behind Albon and Alonso, who's also pitted. But we're going to get Schumacher. We're going to get Schumacher when he comes into the pits because he's not that far ahead of us. It's going to take him too long. And probably Magnussen as well. So we're just about... It's about eking out these tyres, and we've managed our tyre wear really well. We're holding back some fuel as well. I feel like we're in a good position here. And I think what we're going to do as we get closer to our pit window, which is just around lap 30, we're going to start harvesting some ERS as well and really fill our battery up so that as soon as we come out of the pits, we're going to go hell for leather on fuel and ERS and try and claim back some space as much as we can. And here we go, lap 23, a whole host of people coming into pits and still no sign of this rain. There's now a 25% chance of rain in 4 minutes. The track is still absolutely bone dry. Tyres are still fine, they're not halfway through yet. But as you can see, we're jumping people that are coming into the pits. And if it rains, they've all got to pit again. They'll all have to go to inters. They will have to go to inters or full wets, depending on how much rain there is. But I do think we're going to have to see how this goes. We've got about 7 laps until our pit window, so I don't mind. And I'm letting the guys race. I'm letting them race. Hulkenberg's already proving that he's going to be more of a competitor for Vettel than Lance Stroll ever was. So very, very happy with that. Okay, so we've just been told over the radio that wet weather is predicted. We've actually got Vettel and Hulkenberg up to 14th and 15th, and we're battling with Albon again, who's in 13th. So the rain, is coming pretty soon. So if our pit engineers, our race engineers are saying that they are going to be coming, and we're being pretty consistent on our lap times at the moment. We're really not doing too bad. 120, high 122s, 123s, a couple of 124s where we've been sort of battling. That's not us, is it? That's not what I wanted to look at, because I wanted to look at lap history. That's what I wanted to look at. So Vettel, so 126, 125s. Hulkenberg's 126, 127 is fast as a 125 at the moment. So really, we're not doing too bad. Hulkenberg's lost a couple of spots, but I don't mind that. We've just got to keep an eye out on this rain, and if it comes at lap 30, we're going to do well. Right, so it's getting to crunch time. 28 laps in, Hulkenberg's starting to drop back down the list, but I don't mind that. There's still no rain on the track, but it's saying we're basically just about to enter rain territory. So I'm going to give it a couple more laps and see how we go as Hulkenberg re-overtakes. So wet weather predicted. It's just gone very, very dark. The rain is coming. The rain is coming now. We've got 0.11 millimeters of rain on the track. Do we risk it? How quickly is that rain coming down? 1, 3, 4. Where is Vettel now? I think that's going to be... The thing is, they're really... Do we double stack? I think we're going to. I think we're going to say pit this lap for intermediates. We're going to risk this. It's the... Yeah, we're going to risk it. We have to do something different, right? We have to do something different. So we're going to pit in Seb. We're going to leave Hulkenberg out for one more, and he's just going to absolutely... No, he's going to harvest, so that as soon as we come out, we can do this. And we're going to go Seb from here on in. As soon as you get to the pits, you can just do whatever the hell you want. You get out there, son, and absolutely leather it. And what we want is for that to say about 1 millimetre. 1 millimetre by the time Sebastian Vettel is coming in. And hopefully no one else has thought that far ahead with strategy. It is lap 30. It was basically spot on for what we said. The rain has slowed down, but it's got 70% chance in 4 minutes of heavy rain. I think we may have done a wonderful strategy here, looking at that weather telemetry. Hopefully our weather telemetry is absolutely correct, because what we can do is Hulkenberg can push for another lap. I don't know. Now I'm thinking, do we just double stack and get 2 drivers up there?
Mid lane.
Because Hulkenberg's just coming around that corner as well. 0.83 in 4 minutes, a 70% chance of rain. I think we do. I think we get him in as well. I think we double stack and we just deal with the double stack, which is going to hurt us a little bit. And hopefully that has been registered in time, because it looks like a lot of the... Yes, they have. They've both come in. So we are going to be double stacking. A lot of the back markers are coming in first. Are they going to be putting on... We know we're putting on intermediates. What's Bottas going for? Bottas is going for full wets. Oh no, have we messed this up? Are we going to have to pit again for full wets? Right, we need to make these count. Push, push, push. On ERS, we'll go neutral for now. Hulkenberg, again, push, push. And we'll get you on to neutral as well for now. How much rain is going to come? It is going to be quite a lot of rain. Oh yeah, look at that. We're going to get these intermediates run for a little while. Oh my word. Track conditions, rainfall, heavy rainfall, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes. Maybe it should have been full wets. Maybe it should have been full wets. Tyres are severely overheating. That'll cool down. Wets, wets, wets. We've gone intermediates. Oh, it's a bold call.
Do what you can to keep the tyres cool. Yep.
It's a bold call here. Okay, let's just go aggressive then if they're both saying that
That's it.
The tyres are overheating. I'm wondering...
Yeah, take it easy.
Can we...
Yeah.
Aston Martin with a great play there.
Can we make this work? Vettel's up into 14th. Lots of people in the pits getting onto probably full wets. I'm just wondering, let's have a look at that again on the track. It's never really going to come down to intermediate level. We're probably going to have to pit again here. I think this has been a little bit of a faux pas from my end. However, it isn't full wet weather yet. It's not full wet weather yet. So we're going to see how this unfolds, because the rainfall is stopping a little bit. The rainfall on the track is sort of like leveling out, plateauing out. So you never know. You never know. Okay, you can see now rainfall is really hammering it down. I still sort of feel that we can use... Yeah, see, 1 to 4 millimetres. It needs to be over 4 millimetres for full wets, which means we're going to have quite a lot of running in these intermediates, which should put us in a good position. At the moment, Vettel in 13th, Hulkenberg in 16th. Come on, boys, make this count. Make this count. Okay, the track is now significantly wet. It is significantly wet. We're 2 seconds off Zhou in front of us, but we've got a good gap to Bottas. It's only, it's really strange because the track's getting a lot wetter. It's going to be absolutely horrendous, isn't it? It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be full wets. Right, we're going to have to plan a pit stop here. Bollocks. This is... I mean, it could be worse. It could be Latifi. He's a whole minute behind Michael Schumacher. So... we just need to keep... If that... Hopefully that rainfall just stabilises a little bit. We're still putting in some good times. I don't feel like we're completely out of it yet. Lap history... 128, a 131 last time. A 128, 131. Maybe it is getting to that point where we've gone for the inters and it didn't really work. It hasn't really worked. We're going to stick with it a little bit longer though. Okay, so we've just been told the track is really wet. Track conditions has changed to wet. It's 4 millimeters of rain. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse. I don't think it's ever going to go below 4. So I do feel like we're probably going to have to come in at some point. I want to just see if Bottas reels us in a little bit. See if Hulkenberg can get closer to Gasly. And see if full wets will make a big difference. It's still really, really coming down the rain. Yeah, we are really struggling. I think we're going to have to pit. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Albon's got past Hulkenberg. Bottas is just about to go past Vettel. So I think, unfortunately, we've been done by the weather. We're going to have to go full wets. We're just going to bring it in, pit this lap. Full wets, bring it in, pit this lap. That's just unlucky. We had to try something different to try and get us through. But full wets it is. The weather isn't going to improve. It's a rainy Australia. It's going to be pretty horrendous, to be honest. So both pit stops done. Hulkenberg comes out in 19th, Vettel in 17th. He is just behind Tsunoda, so there might be an opportunity. And we're going to keep pushing because the tyres in the wet will be totally fine from here until the end of the race. That's not an issue at all. We can easily make it. So we can push hard, we can get through it and see if we can make some positions up in the rain. Right, so now it's really interesting. We've paused it here on the map screen. Vettel is closing in on Albon. Hulkenberg is closing in on Schumacher. We've been able to push because we saved our fuel before the pit stop, before the intermediate pit stop. So we've been pushing this whole time. We had to lower the temperature of the tyres a little bit. They were overheating, so we've had to just go to aggressive. But the rain is on this downward trend. And I'm thinking people are going to may come back in for intermediates. It's going to be very interesting to see how it works. We're not going to pit again. We're going to stay out whatever happens. But I felt like pausing it and let you know. But look how spread out the field is. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. From Hamilton to Leclerc is 27 seconds all the way down here. Yeah, it's been such an odd Grand Prix. Okay, so we've just been told again that it's gone to a completely wet track. So nobody pitted. Everybody stayed out on their wet tyres. Yeah, we can. I think we can we're just gonna keep pushing. We've got the fuel, we've got the tyre wear. We should be good. We should be fine. Hopefully that push allows us to get a couple of places. We're trying to manage the ERS, but it's proving pretty difficult because I don't really want to harvest too much. So yeah, I mean 12 laps to go. Let's see how we get on. So Seb in the rain is driving a bit of a blinder. He's pulled in 7 seconds to Albon. It's been absolutely incredible. If he can get 16th out of this, I'll be pretty happy because the tyres are getting too hot, but we need to push. We really need to push. I know they're getting too hot, but we can't do too much about it. We've got to keep an eye on his gearbox for the next race as well. That's wearing. But because we need to push and we've got the life in the tyres, that's not going to be a problem. If we compare our tyre 77 to like 73, 68, 74, we can push. We can push and try and get positions, and that's what we need to do, really. It is sort of what we need to push to do. So I'm not going to turn them down just yet. As Seb is up the inside of Albon, he's now got the outside track, and Albon manages to keep the position, but look at that spray coming off Albon. The graphics in this game are absolutely incredible for a management game. It is ridiculously good. But 8 laps to go as Albon really slows down for the right-hander there, trying to keep his grip and his traction. But yeah, if we had gone straight to wets when we pitted for intermediates, I think this race could have potentially been points. If you think we would be, what, 20, 30 seconds further up the road. Because it would have got rid of completely one pit stop. So maybe we would have been around Gasly with one of the cars, and then maybe up near Zhou or Alonso, or maybe even with Magnussen, who's up there, who we were close to. So yeah, it's just a bit of a learning curve. I need to pay attention to the whole race forecast, not just when I think rain's coming and what's going on. I should have looked to see how wet the track was going to get, as Seb has a little bit of a wobble there. Do we deploy here and just... Yeah, go on. Use your overtake to try and get past him. Hulkenberg is... Let's have a quick look at Hulkenberg. You've got lots of space with you. So, do we deploy or do we just let you plod around? You've got 7 seconds. Let's see if you can close that gap a little bit. to Schumacher in front of you and see how it goes. But we'll go back to Vettel, who is battling with Albon. Hopefully down this start-finish straight now, he will be able to get him. He's got a little bit of battery to deploy. He's used all of that. He's pushing on the fuel. He's pushing on the tyres. And should have the pace to get past Albon. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. There we go. He has got... Oh, no, he hasn't quite completed that move. It looks like he has now, though Albon's holding on that outside. Albon's done a fantastic defensive bit of driving there. And that's a bit irritating. 7 laps to go. We still sit behind Albon as Seb has another look into this slow right-hander where it does appear to be the Williams really holds us up. There's a 10-second gap in front of this Williams to Tsunoda, so I think the 15th is off the cards. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So Nico's been deploying his battery a lot. We'll drop Seb back into neutral as well. We're going to eye up a little area in a minute. Because there's no DRS, we need to time this right about when to deploy. So I think what we're going to do is we come into this sort of cornering bit where you're a bit more heavy on the brakes. We're going to go round this really high speed left-hander. Then you're going to go into a sort of S-bend around and come out, which would normally be a DRS zone coming into here. So after this, what would be DRS zone, obviously deactivated because of the rain, we're going to go into harvest some of the... here we go. We're going to harvest around here because there should be quite a lot of braking. Albon going really, really slowly then. So we should be able to potentially get some harvest in the battery so that when we start our next lap, we can get the deploy down and really, really work it hard. Albon's struggling through those slow corners. He really, really is. Really is struggling there. Right, so Albon now will put his foot down. We're going to see what sort of battery we get for the start of a new lap here. It was nothing. So we're going to harvest for this lap and then we're going to push Albon pretty hard. Here we go. So we're harvesting as we get in. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure if that's going to really affect us, to be honest, as we just need to stay in. There's a crash. There is a crash. Okay, there's a crash. There's a crash involving multiple cars.
Now look at this.
What's happening here? In the rain, it's the 2 AlphaTauris. Oh my word, what is going to happen here? The AlphaTauris just come past. Oh, it's not quite a crash. They managed just to avoid contact, it looked like there. Or was that the lockup? AlphaTauri's not happy about that at all in their garage, but it does put a bit of a spanner in the works. I think that was the incident. It looked like it might be a bit of contact, but overall it wasn't. Right. We're going to open up this, we're going to deploy this in a second because we're going to come down a pretty far straight and we're keeping hold with Albon even as we're harvesting at the moment, which is awesome. So again, we're going to come around here, we're going to take this slight left into the slight right, really get your foot down, and then we're going to deploy right here and see if we can make something stick on Albon, because we're going to come round. It's going to be into these sort of S-bends, and then hopefully as we get through this little section here we can get that deployment on, and he is really pushing the ERS battery. Come on, Seb, deploy it all. Why are you not deploying it all? Oh, that's really irritating. Really irritating. 6 laps to go. We'll go back into harvest around this sort of little area here. Albon really... We're going to go into neutral, actually, because Albon's really struggling in those corners. I feel like Seb should have been able to make a dive. Low laps warning. We've got, what, 5 laps to go? Probably 4 laps for us. I think we've been lapped, so... Right, let's push that up into overtake for this sort of start-finish straight. And come on, Seb, get this done. The ERS is kicking in. We've drained the battery a little bit, but it looks like this time we may actually have enough to get past Albon finally. We have got the inside track. We get past him, and we can drop that into neutral. So hopefully... Yeah, there we go. We're leaving Albon a little bit in our wake now, which is awesome. And wake is an appropriate term with this amount of water on the track. So we'll leave Hulkenberg there. He's sort of a little bit adrift, but yeah, 4 or 5 laps to go. Let's see if we can hold this place from Albon. And as we enter what will be the last lap for the leaders at the moment, Vettel's not just held off Albon, he's put a 5-second gap between him, which is absolutely awesome. We're going to just leave it as it is, I think, and get to the end of the race as the rain has stopped, but the track is still very, very wet. It's a sort of a what could have been situation. As I'm sitting here with my hands on my head thinking what could have been, because I feel like if we had just pitted straight to those wet tyres, we probably would have been in such a good position to get something out of this race. But I thought it was going to be intermediate weather. it wasn't, and that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles, right? We're going to be secured unless something drastic happens on 16th and 19th. Not the best for Hulkenberg. He started 20th, so he's gained a place. Vettel's actually dropped a place overall, but this time we saw a lot of good battling between Hulkenberg and Vettel. I feel like Hulkenberg is going to be a much better racing partner for Vettel, and we can really sort of hopefully get something this year with this partnership. And if not, we've got a nice young reserve driver just waiting to pop in Vestry into Hulkenberg's seat if he needs to, and we're not happy with the second driver again. But at the moment, it's not been too bad. I'm going to assume that Max Verstappen is going to come in to win this race with a 2-second gap to Sainz behind him. So we'll see Max Verstappen cross the line. We haven't had one of these yet where we've actually seen the winner cross the line. Everyone on full wets. He's just coming up to lap some people again. But Max Verstappen wins the Australian Grand Prix. Sainz is going to get second. Leclerc is going to get third. And it looks like Hamilton and Russell was a Mercedes 4 and 5 as well, which should secure us 16th position. So well done, Max Verstappen. As someone else wins the race, and Hulkenberg's just... I mean, Hulkenberg's had a really interesting weekend. He got a grid penalty in practice for crashing into someone, or causing a crash, which made him start back of the grid. And then he's been battling his teammate quite well. He started really well. The wet weather, it would be interesting to see both Vettel and Hulkenberg's adaptability stats to say how they deal with weather in the wrong sort of tyre, because obviously we had them all on the wrong tyre to start with anyway. But Vettel crosses the line, 16th place, not too bad. We're one off like 15th, which is a bonus, so that's where we'd get a bonus payout. But Hulkenberg's going to be 19th. I think we can call the race there. We'll be back for a little bit of a debrief just after the end. So Haas scoring a point in that one has actually put us down to 9th place in the Constructors, which is a bit of a shocker. We need to get that 8th. So now we have to get a point at some point this season. We are going to have to get a point or two to finish above Haas, because I don't want to disappoint the board. We are spending quite a lot of their money at the moment. So yeah, I mean, we're not the worst. We're better than Williams, but we just need to make sure that we can get something on. Hulkenberg climbs up 1 place ahead of Latifi. Sebastian Vettel drops 2 places because Magnussen now has a point to his name. Very interesting that Alfa Romeo, Zhou Guanyu still hasn't got a point for Alfa Romeo yet. Yeah, it's and AlphaTauri down there as well. Yuki Tsunoda not having a point either. But at the top, Charles Leclerc leads it. Carlos Sainz in second, Verstappen third, Perez fourth, Hamilton, Russell, Bottas all up there. Ferrari leading the Constructors, Red Bull, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo and McLaren make the top 5. So I just wanted to have a look. Yeah, Seb's got adaptability 78, so he is pretty good. Improves the driver's acceleration and cornering speed on tyres not suited to wetter tracks, so that's not too bad. Nico has adaptability 77, so both of them would have done okay in the intermediates, just as it went over into the wet weather. But yeah, it's just annoying. If we had just got that pit stop right, we would have been in a much better position. So we're going to have a vote here from the FIA. As you know, we may change the regulation that define Formula 1's rules between seasons to make the sport fairer for competitors and more engaging for fans. With these goals in mind, we're proposing new minor technical regulations for the 2023 season. Minor technical regulation change will reduce all teams' design expertise regarding the affected car parts. This will impact all teams regardless of their car strengths or weaknesses. So please vote with consideration to the fairness and future of Formula 1 as a whole. Vote for minimal regulation changes. Vote for moderate regulation changes. Does it explain? Oh, here we go. I was going to say, does it explain what they are? I haven't scrolled down. So option A, minimal regulation changes will do 5% airflow, engine cooling, drag reduction. Okay, a 5% to everything. Or do we want moderate to make it? I mean, moderate would make it... Surely moderate would close the field up, which is what we want as a back runner. You want to take 10% off everyone, right? But then I also don't want too many changes because we've just had loads of changes. And I want closer racing. So I'm going to go minimal. For the good of F1, I'm going to go minimal regulation changes. That's what I'm going to go for. So post-race then, I don't care about the actual overview, but a difficult race. The board watched the race and was disappointed that the team performed below expectations. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. The circuit database on the Australian Grand Prix, all of Australia is up to date. On a separate note, our telemetry shows that the medium speed cornering of Core 1 could be better compared to the grid. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty rubbish compared to the grid as a whole, to be honest. If we go to car analysis, us against the grid average. So what are we doing here? We're We've got a lower high speed. We've got a lower acceleration. Everything's lower. Everything is low. We don't do anything better than the average of the grid. But if we then look at, say, I think we're battling the sort of Haas here. So Haas are better than us at everything as well, which is really irritating, actually. Are we better than anyone other than the Williams at anything? 389. No, we're not. I assume ours would be in white if it was better. Wow, that's a pain in the arse. Are we actually better than Williams? Yes, we do have some stuff better than Williams, which is good. What about AlphaTauri? No, nothing better than them. Nothing better than Alpine. This is how much work we've got to do, and we're definitely not going to have anything better than them. So, yeah, tough situation. It is what it is. But that's how we go. I think we've got a little bit of time until the next Grand Prix. Where are we? We're there. Yeah, we've got a week off, and then we're back. So, we're going to have some new front wings, which is awesome. We're going to be scouting Theo Pacher, which is finished. And then we're going to start scouting some new technical stuff. And our manufacturing will be complete. We get a sponsorship obligation, regulation vote results, and a research period open as well to start car parts research for the next season. Right. Excellent. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. A bit of a disappointing Australian Grand Prix. I'm gutted about that pit stop. It could have made such a difference. But we do have big news in the fact that Nico Hulkenberg is our new second driver, and Vesti is in to replace Lance Stroll, really, and make our third driver in that reserve team spot. But if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I'm loving this game. It's absolutely amazing. I'll catch you in the next one. For now, I'm out. Cheers.